What up, guys? James from Bolt Bros here. Hey, just want to talk a little bit about another team in our division, by the way. And the team that I'm going to chat about is our friendly Raiders, and talk about their 2023 season and potentially kind of where it could be going. And do I feel the Chargers are going to dominate the Raiders this upcoming season? The answer is yes. Let's talk about that, guys. Bolt Bros, let's go. So once again, guys, family, trust, respect all day, every day. You know, we are a team that is excited to play the Raiders this year, and I'm interested to be able to see what the fan base thinks about it. Once again, guys, like, subscribe, sub. We always appreciate the support and everything too. We love hearing from you and your comments and such too. So let's get in and talk about the 2023 Raiders here. You know, it's one of those teams that we don't like to talk about. We don't like to, be too kind to at the same side, but we got a good long-standing rivalry with them. And obviously they're in our division, so we end up talking a little bit more about them and seeing them more often than we like to. But let's kind of talk about it, man. I mean, this whole season for the Raiders is an interesting one already before it's even started. Let's talk about here's just one little start here. Talk about how speculation mounting that the Los Angeles Raiders star Davante Adams could be on the move. The whole thing about it is like there's been a lot of talk about him not being very happy about the team. You know, I mean, even to say last year, he signed in expecting to play with Derek Carr, have a good long career with him. Well, they moved on from Derek Carr. They brought in Jimmy G. It's that meme if you've ever seen it, guys. It basically is the guy wearing that plaid shirt, same color. He ends up getting a present with the same exact shirt. There's not much difference there with Jimmy G versus Derek Carr. Sure, I could say Derek Carr never has won a playoff game. You guys haven't won a playoff game in decades now. But then you got Jimmy G, who has gotten some success, gotten to, I believe, even the Super Bowl, but at the same side has been really, really bad on the injury side of things. So there is definitely a sense of you got to be aware that you might not have your quarterback for the season, which would happen with the Niners too, or even to say for very long. I expect personally, in my opinion, I think Jimmy G is only going to last maybe 3 to 4 weeks, in my opinion. He might not even get to the Charger game this season. So I don't know where it's really going here, but it seems like a very rocky boat right now. I mean, if you end up having Davante Adams, who is one of the top wide receivers in the league, ended up moving on from him because he's not happy. There's a lot of things that are not going well with this team at all. And it's a scary, scary thing. If you're a Raiders fan, if it's a Chargers fan, you love watching it. You love seeing this. I mean, last season, Josh McDaniels, 6-11 last year. They definitely did not look in a contention-based position. Personally, in my opinion, you're not going to see much better of a season from last year to this year. It's probably going to be the same and potentially could get even worse if Davante Adams ends up going on there. You don't have a whole heck of a lot of depth at all on this team, especially in that position. You start losing basically your number one wide receiver. I mean, he's not very happy at this moment. They're going to have a difficult season all around next year. So we'll see where that pans out. I mean, even to go a step further in the same position room as Davante Adams, we go to Hunter Renfrow. I think he's a great receiver. He's had a very solid season with you guys in the past. Well over 100 catches in one season. I believe it was 2021, I believe it was. Fantastic route receiver. He has a great three-step kind of juke move to be able to get open. He's a smaller receiver. I totally get it 100%. But then you start looking at it and say, hey, look, high production guy, smaller guy all around. I get it. But the guy knows how to play. You guys did sign him to a big contract, and he seems like there's a chance they're going to let him go after June 1st. It's so crazy to see $32 million that you guys signed for him, 5th round pick in the past. Solid guy. You don't want to let go of this kind of guy, in my opinion, especially with Devontae Adams. They're a very good pairing together. Yes, Hunter Renfrow had some injury issues last year. I get it. 100% get it. I mean, he's a smaller body kind of guy. The guy looks like he's been working in a Verizon store slanging cell phones, in my opinion. But 5'10", 185 kind of guy, very small body. Hence, that's why a lot of people end up kind of moving away from some of these smaller body-based wide receivers all around. And because they can't really sustain, basically, the hits that they take in their daily, job, basically. So I think it's crazy to think that this is even something as a speculation out there. I think it's crazy that you would try to move on with him, especially if you decide to move on and move on from Devontae Adams and trade off him. Who is your receivers at that point? There is not a lot of good receivers at all left on that team. Jacoby Myers, is he going to be your number one? It's ironic. Last year when Jacoby Myers late in the season threw that interception trying to throw the ball back to Mac Jones and ended up getting picked off by Chandler Jones and straight just buried Mac Jones into the ground and ended up getting a touchdown to give the Raiders the touchdown at that point to win the game. Ironic, he gets a contract with the Raiders, and now he's one of your guys' wide receivers on the team. So crazy to see. DeAndre Carter, you guys obviously signed him. We know who he is. He's really more of a fourth kind of wide receiver on a team. He's not really a number one. Philip Dorsett, I don't know. I haven't seen that guy for a very long time. So it's crazy to be able to see what you guys are doing. If this is something that you guys are going to do, Devontae Adams and move on from Josh Jacobs, put Jacoby Myers at the number one. That's a little bit of a scary situation. You do have Austin Hooper, Michael Mayer, great pickups for Michael Mayer there too. Offensively, you got Jimmy G, who's essentially the same exact guy as Derek Carr, but just a lot more injury prone. So not good looks in my opinion. So moving on to another player that you guys are screwing around with. You guys got plenty of money to spend on this guy, but what did you do with Josh Jacobs? He's a stud. He's a very, very good running back. And are you guys really going to pay him? This is actually straight from Raider Ramble. Basically, he's holding off from offseason activities. He did talk about how he's doing a number change, I believe, to number 8. Basically, he's seeking extension from Las Vegas with no desire to receive the franchise tag. So he's not really even with the team at this moment in time, But basically, several Jacobs fellow superstars, Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, are already at the facility putting in work. So they are there. Josh Jacobs is not there. So what are you going to do at this point, guys? It kind of reminds me of the Le'Veon Bell kind of situation. He's like, nah, I don't want to get no franchise tag. I want you to pay me kind of thing. And that didn't go well for Bell by any means. But at the same side, you're screwing around with a guy who is a very, very stable player. And especially if you got a quarterback like Jimmy G, who hasn't been very consistent on field. And you have to have a good run game to make it work. And if Jimmy G goes down, that's going to be an interesting thing because you're going to need that run game. Like, I don't really know what to expect with this, guys, but you do have a Zamir White, who is seemingly could be a very good running back. Kind of was a guy that the Chargers end up looking at. But you're going to start looking at a possibility of looking at Zamir White as your guy, or Amir Abdullah. Not big guys by any means. Josh Jacobs is a workhorse for your team. You're screwing around here, guys. Like, I'm going to pull up here about your guys' current cap situation. You guys got money. You guys have money. I mean, at least for this season, it's not that great. But at the same side, 2024, $47 million. 2025, $103 million. You guys have money to spend on him. Why are you screwing around with this guy? I mean, when you end up selling off shares of the team to Tom Brady as a minority-based owner, it sounds like there might be bleeding for cash there. So, and I've heard since the Raiders have gone to Vegas, they've had a lot of issues with money all around. So I don't know what you guys are doing, but if you don't have Devontae Adams, you don't have Hunter Renfrow, you don't have Josh Jacobs, this team is going to be a disaster, in my opinion. There is no offensive weapons at that point. There is going to be a extremely hard season for you guys for 2023. It's not going to be fun by any means. So What I'm saying here, guys, it's not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun for your Raider fans, by the way. Let's see if I can pull up one other thing here, too, where we just show off the schedule here. And, the schedule is kind of a tough one. You guys went 5-12 last year, I believe it was. 6-11, I'm sorry, last season. Where do you feel like your wins are going to be at here? I'd love to be able to hear from you guys on this. Like, I'm going to say Broncos, you're probably going to end up splitting with them. So I could say maybe one of those you'll find a way to win. Green Bay, we don't really know what's going to happen there. Jordan Love, we'll see what happens. Giants have gotten very good and have become a pretty solid team. You got a bye week. Maybe that's your guys' dub. You got basically the Colts. We'll see where Colts are at. Last season, they were slated to be a very, very strong team. Did not do well. Bills are going to be Bills. Patriots are going to be Patriots. Jets, we'll see where they're at. Vikings, they're going to be good. Broncos already chatted about them. Steelers always find ways to be able to have winning seasons all the time. Mike Tomlin, one of the best coaches out there. Shout out to Mike Tomlin. Bears, questionable. Dolphins, we'll see where they're at. They do have some awesome offensive side of things. McDaniels is a very, very good coach over there. Chargers, I personally, I'm going to say right now, I think we're going to sweep the Raiders. Sorry, that's what's going to happen. Lions, a lot of hype around them. Chiefs are the Chiefs. We know who they are. Where do you see wins here? I could say maybe and this is just me, not trying to be biased at any point. There's maybe solid 2 to 3 games that I hear that you might be able to find ways to win. And it's going to be a tough road all around, guys. At best, I think you guys will win 5 games. That's what it is. I want to hear from you, Raider fans. I want to hear what you think. We're about family, trust, and respect around here, guys. So we'd love to be able to hear a little bit more about your thoughts on that. So going to be a rough road for you guys, Raider fans there. And by the way, we did also see your wonderful owner with the worst haircut in the league for sure. I might even not even say just league. I might even just say in general in life. The guy's haircut is awful. Hey, I know he's a millionaire. Hey, I ain't a millionaire, but this guy's over here talking smack about the Chargers all around. So basically the flex schedule for Thursday Night Football, absolutely not. Basically, he didn't want to have that. He said he did kind of a little bit of a jab at the Chargers. If you have a Raiders-Chargers game in Las Vegas scheduled for a Thursday night, and all the fans driving from Los Angeles, the Raiders fans and all 3 Chargers fans buy their tickets and book their hotels, how the hell do you schedule it and now say, oh, sorry, it's on Sunday? How the hell do you do that? This guy, dude, come on, bro. Look at that haircut. Get out of here, dude. You can't be talking like that, dude. Anyways, we got plenty of fans here, guys. And at the same side, I don't know, there's a fair amount of Charger fans in Las Vegas, and even LA. You guys want to say, like, Raiders fans do travel extremely well. I'll give them that. But at the same side, when I was last in Vegas, I was chatting with one of the Uber drivers there. There's a fair amount of Chargers fans there that wanted the Chargers to move to Las Vegas, not to Los Angeles. And so they do have a good nucleus of fans there. So get out of here, Mark. Get out of here, bro. We don't need to be hearing that, dude. But anyways, hey, we could sweep them. We could do well against the Raiders. I feel very confident that we're going to do that too. I will give you kind of 2 points from your guys' draft that you guys did. I'll end it on a soft note with you guys. You guys did good with Michael Mayer. I think he could be a very good guy. You guys have a good nucleus of tight ends with Hooper, Mayer, and O.J. Howard. I think you did a good job there. Don't really feel that you did too much on your O-line to really help out your situation. I don't feel like it's great. You still got speed bump at Jerry Tillery as a defensive tackle, who is terrible. We let him go for a reason. But you guys have good ends. When you got Tyree Wilson, Max Crosby, I think, is one of the better ends in the league. Absolute stud. Tyree Wilson, great arm length, very similar to Max Crosby. Can be very, very dangerous on your edges there. With Chandler Jones on top of that too. Behind that, Nate Hobbs is probably your only really good cornerback. Very, very good player. But it's really a tough situation for you guys at that point. I don't really think that there is going to be that great of a defense for your team. I think there's going to be a lot of high-scoring games that you're going to get destroyed on. Family, trust, respect, guys. I'm not looking at the Raiders season very well. I think you guys are going to have a bad season all around. So either which way, going back to the statement, will the Chargers dominate the Raiders this year for 2023? Absolutely. We will dominate you guys. So once again, guys, want to hear your guys' thoughts. Love hearing from you guys. Family Trust